Good afternoon. It is the 12th day of October, the year being 2023. Good afternoon. I trust that you are well on this particular day, noting that it is 2 minutes to the top of the hour East African time. Time to bring you up to speed on what has been taking shape across the country and even beyond the borders in matters news. My name is Moige William. Welcome to the broadcast. This is TV47 News Now. Investigations against 23 Kenya Forestry Service officials have been completed, and the Ministry of Forestry will dismiss the officers as directed by President William Ruto on Wednesday. That is according to Environment Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya. Tuya said more officials may be in hot soup as the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that is DCI, is still pursuing more officers due to graft. Addressing the press this morning in Nairobi, the Cabinet Secretary sent a strong warning to both the Board of Directors and the management of Kenya Forestry Service, noting that there will be no sacred cows. Take a look.
The toll-free numbers have been established at the ministry, and the numbers for Kenyans to take, and we are going to make them very public, is 0800 724 570, and to assure members of the public that this toll-free line will grow into a hotline unit within the ministry, and we promise that we are going to have real-time responses to any illegalities reported from our forest. And I repeat again, it is 0800 724 570. The Principal Secretary for Forestry actually did make this number public during the World Bamboo Day celebration in Embu, and I'm only here to amplify the same. The numbers are manned 24 hours, and a response will be deployed by the hour each time any report is made. These responses will be for all our forests, all our public forests in this country. And we call on the county governments also to cooperate with us so that this is extended not just to public gazetted forests, but even the community forests across the country. The other thing that I would wish to speak to is that we are also here because we have mentioned severally that we have operations happening in different ecosystems, in different forest conservancies in the country. We have had a lot of cooperation from the DCI, helping with the investigations and unearthing the criminal activities happening. And we are here today to witness and ensure that the Chief Conservator of Forests has effected the immediate dismissal of 23 forest officers whose cases have been under investigations and have been found to be in gross misconduct through various acts of abetting and conniving with criminals in the destruction of our forests. And we are here again to send a strong warning to all the Kenya Forest Service officers, including the Board of Directors, the management, that there will be no sacred cows. Anyone found abetting, aiding, or conniving to deplete our forest resources will face the full force of the law. And in addition to the 23, we have a number of other investigations going on, and we shall be rolling out and letting Kenyans know the action we are taking. As a ministry, we are implementing the National Landscape and Ecosystem Restoration Program towards the growing of 15 billion trees, and it will be as
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has defended the government decision to deploy police officers to Haiti on a peacekeeping mission in Haiti. In what he says, law and order will be followed before the mission begins. Speaking when he appeared before the National Assembly Security Committee, Kindiki insisted that Haiti peacekeeping mission is a United Nations initiative and Kenya will only take a lead role, noting that the officers will be taken through training.
Even the mandates of the legislature and the government has actually lapsed. So technically, it's a country in limbo, so it's a temporary emergency, as opposed to a situation where it is the same height with the gangs, with all the violence, but there is a government which is in place. The other thing is on political leaders, again on Sondu. Before I go to Sondu, there was the issue of what should have come first. Is it the commitment to deploy, or is it first the legal procedures locally? And the answer is what has happened is the right procedure. The request must first come from the international legal system to our legal system. And therefore, the commitment by the executive to deploy is within the law, in the sense that technically that commitment, of course, is made subject to the meeting of the constitutional procedures. So I see no harm. And that's why we have institutions of governance. So likewise, the National Security Council will transmit the request to Parliament, and the executive have no control on what Parliament decides. If Parliament decides on the contrary, that is an outcome of democratic processes. I see no embarrassment, no diplomatic issue there. It is part of our democracy, and we must learn to respect the democracy of our legal order which we have adopted for ourselves. The other issue is on what action has been taken on law enforcement officers who may not have acted. That is something maybe the IG and the Commission can help us with. But as a general policy issue, it is not going to be tenable anymore to transfer an officer who has failed to act within the law to discharge their mandate. Because transferring an officer from one place, one station to another is transferring a problem. We must find ways as a country of taking more grievous action on such people. But let me put this in context as I perhaps wind up, that majority of the police officers in this country do a great job. I have been in the field almost in all the regions of our country. But we do have officers within our ranks who have swelled the reputation of their colleagues.
All right, now let us move on and to the corridors of justice. Controversial pastor Paul Mackenzie will know if he will be detained for 180 days or not next week. This follows a request by the suspect's lawyer, Wycliffe Makasembo, who requested for 7 more days to submit responses requested by the prosecution, as he did not succeed in doing so within the time frame given by the court due to health reasons. The prison officer has also been given 7 days to complete copies of social reports on suspects and submit them to the Office of the Director of Prosecutions, as well as that of the Attorney General, who will be required to make their recommendations before the court after 7 days. The suspect, Paul Mackenzie, along with co-suspects, will be detained in different prisons, including Shimo La Tewa Prison and the Malindi Prison, until next week.
Upande wa wajibu maombi watapewa siku 7 ili kujibu maombi ambayo yamewasilishwa na upande wa serikali. Na ofisi ya afisa wa kifungo cha nje pia wamepewa siku 7 kukamilisha ripoti zao na kuziwasilisha hapa mahakamani. Na kuna maagizo ya ziada kwamba nakala za hizo ripoti za kijamii zipewe ofisi ya mkurugenzi mkuu wa mashtaka, ofisi ya mwanasheria mkuu, na pia upande wa pia bwana Makasembo apewe nakala. Na baada ya kupewa hizo nakala, pande zote zitapewa nafasi ya kufanya mawasilisho wakati ombi la upande wa mashtaka litakuwa linasikilizwa.
Elsewhere, Nakuru County residents have been urged to take precaution and ensure they board motorbikes that are well known with clear stage registration numbers. This follows the rise of cases of gangs using motorbikes to commit crimes in Nakuru's various informal settlements. The most affected areas include Flamingo in Nakuru East and Pondamali in Nakuru West, Nakuru County. Motorbike operators, together with local administrators, have called on other stakeholders to step in to arrest the situation.
Kuna vijana wako na bodabodas ambao wanajificha kwa hii sekta yetu. Wanajifanya ni riders lakini si riders. Wanafanya uhalifu, halafu inakuwa ni wanabodaboda.
Insecurity imekuwa na incident kadhaa, moja na mbili, watu wanatumia pikipiki labda si watu wa bodaboda. So kama community na wanabiashara tumekubali tutafanya kazi pamoja na serikali na tutashirikiana ndio tuweze kufanya biashara katika mji wetu wa Nakuru.
Tumejipanga, kwa hivyo ni kusema ya kwamba kila mwana bodaboda azingatie, akuwe na namba mahali ambapo anabebea, akuwe na namba ya stage na akuwe abebewe, hata kama ni mteja abebwe kulingana na stage venye ziko, kwa sababu malalamishi mingi inakuja wakati mtu anabebwa tu mahali popote pale, inakuwa inaletwa kwa watu wa bodaboda alibebwa na mtu mbaya.
There are those concerns ambazo tunazo kutoka kwa washirika wetu. Wakati mwingine tuna ibada kama Thursday fellowship, tunaanza saa 10, tumepeleka masaa chini mpaka saa 12 kwa sababu ya security ya washirika wetu.
Kwa kushirikiana na viongozi na wafanyabiashara bodaboda, serikali imehakikisha hii area sio mbaya vile ilikuwa hapo awali. Na sisitiza mtu ambaye anaona mhalifu ama anashuku mhalifu anatupea information na sisi tuna act immediately.
All right, elsewhere, police in Thika, Kambu County are holding a notorious bank peddler and his accomplice who were nabbed with 4.3 million shillings worth of bang at Kiatundu slums. Kambu County Police Commander, that is Parmenas Kioi, revealed that the peddler was arrested alongside a lady and a gentleman who were in possession of 53 and 58 kilograms of bang respectively. The unidentified peddler had 33.25 kilograms of bang, both locally and from Ethiopia, and which was set for distribution in Thika, sprawling Gashororo village in Juja, parts of Gatondo and Githurai.
Kama mwendo wa saa 10 hivi, maofisa yangu hapa Thika waliweza kunasa hizi drugs aina ya bangi na pia wakakamata watu 3. Mmoja wao ni ile njambazi sugu kabisa ambaye amekuwa akitusumbua area hii. Anauza bangi, ana supply area za Gachororo, area ya Thika town yote, area ya Gatondo, Mondoro na area zingine within the Kambu sub county. Hii bangi yote ukiangalia iko na dhamana ya milioni 4,327,500. Na pia wenzake iko moja alipatikana na kilograms 53, mwingine 58, na mwenyewe akapatikana na kilograms 33 na gramu 25. Kwa koti ni kwamba koti watusaidie kuhakikisha jamaa kama hao wamefungwa kavu hata bila kupigwa faini yote, sababu akitoka tu anaendelea na biashara yake.
All right, time for me to take a gulp of water, but do keep it TV47. More news after the break.
The Ministry of Health recognizes the critical role of the Kenya market for health products and technologies in enhancing the rollout of Universal Healthcare Program. This Friday, the 13th of October 2023, the Ministry of Health will hold a dialogue with players and public exhibition of locally manufactured health products and technologies, HPT, under the theme Spurring Local Manufacturing for Supply of Affordable and Quality Essential Health Products and Technologies towards achieving UHC goals. This event will take place from KICC and broadcast live on TV47 from 8:30 a.m.
Cheza Loto. One day to go. Probox brand new iko hapa. Unategea nini? Ni kuchangamka. Tucheze Loto kwa sababu kesho one day Probox inaweza kuwa yako. It could be you.
Nenda kwa M-Pesa paybill number 77700. Andika neno chapa kama account name. Cheza na kati shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2000.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Cheza Loto.
Thank you for keeping it at TV47. Welcome back. More news. The health sector in Kirinyaga County has received a boost as community health promoters have been equipped to revitalize the sector. Speaking during the launch of a health center in the county, Governor Anne Waiguru said the program will see promoters move door to door, checking and taking records on patients' conditions and their ailments. These, the county says, will aid the national government to plan and provide specialized treatment.
Every community health promoter will be allocated 100 homes only. They will be going around those homes. They will be knowing which home has an expectant mother, which one has a small child, which one has a diabetic, which one has somebody with mental health illness, which one has somebody who's maybe been suffering from one ailment or another. And they will be monitoring on a regular basis and reporting. And the data will be being collected from the county offices and then going to the national.
Now let us shift gears a little bit. West Pokot residents have been warned against engaging in female genital mutilation, or rather FGM, or early marriages, as it is affecting their children's lives. Human rights defenders in the area say many girls are in danger as they are married off at an early age. According to the residents, drought in the area has magnified the situation, and they have urged the county government to improve their lives to ensure safety of their children.
Tumekuwa na sherehe nzuri ambapo mashule kadhaa imekuja ya primary na secondary, na tuliangazia sana maneno ambayo inahusu mtoto msichana kama ukeketaji, mimba ya mapema, kuoza mapema, na tumeona kwamba hiyo ni challenge sana ama ni mambo ambayo inasumbua watoto katika hii eneo ya North Pokot, na tuna funza watu pia kuhusu hali gani ambayo watoto wetu wako, kama vile kupeleka watoto shule, kuacha hii maneno ya ukeketaji.
Tuko na shida. Ukiangalia idadi ambayo watoto wanaenda shule, wale watoto ambao wanaenda ECD ama nursery school, idadi inakuwa kubwa kwa sababu county government inapeana chakula na watu wanapeleka watoto kwa wingi, lakini wanaposonga mbele hiyo namba inapungua zaidi. Kitu tunaita transition rate is quite low. Challenge nyingine apart from transition rate, tuna kitu tunaita retention, watoto kuendelea na masomo iko chini sana, na hii ndiyo inafanya watu wanaendelea kuwa maskini kwa sababu njia ya kupata mapato inakuwa haba. Ndio sisi tunasema tunatia maanani watoto waende shule.
Elsewhere, following desert locust invasion 4 years ago, have received 21.3 million shillings as compensation from World Bank. The funds channeled through government emergency locust response program are set to benefit 120 farmers groups that were affected. The groups spread across 9 wards received compensation for various value chains, including dairy goats, rearing, rearing of dairy goats, poultry, beekeeping, fodder and crops such as maize, green grams and cowpeas. Speaking while handing over the check to beneficiaries at Talent Academy grounds in Embu town, Governor Cecily Mbarire said the initiative is aimed at assisting farmers get back on their feet following the losses occasioned by the locust invasion.
We are giving checks to 122 groups in different wards across Embu County, a total of 9 wards that are benefiting 122 groups at the grassroots level, and we are giving a total of 21,382,800 Kenya shillings.
Siku ya leo tumefurahi sana sababu hii ni baada ya nzige wakati walikuja wakavamia hiyo area Ngenda, waliweza kuharibu mimea ina nyingi sana, na kwa hivyo mifugo wakapata shinda, wengine wakakufa, pia wanadamu waliweza kupata shinda, na ndiposa wakati huu mheshimiwa gavana anapotusaidia na hii pesa, najua ya kwamba itarejesha ile hali ambayo ilikuwa pale mbeleni kabla ya nzige kuvamia.
Mbuzi zilikufa juu ya kukuwa na nyazi, na pia watoto walitoka shule juu ya kukosa chakula. Wengine walienda kutafuta kazi ili wapate chakula.
Tumepokea pesa ya kufuga mbuzi na tumepewa cheki ya 1.4 na hiyo cheki ni ya vikundi 6 na tumeona ni vizuri sana, sababu bereni tulikuwa tunalalamika juu ya nzige kutuharibia mashamba na kutuharibia our coffee. Sasa tunaona our governor leo amefanya vizuri sana kwa kutupea check ili turudishe mazao kidogo yenye iliharibika.
From matters agriculture, now let us focus to matters security. The Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki today appeared before the National Assembly Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, where he clarified on the mandate of the National Police Service, saying that the Inspector General of Police is an independent office and exercises independent command and control over the service and performs or any other function prescribed by the national legislation. However, Kindiki noted that while the Inspector General, that is the IG of Police, can be directed by any person with respect to investigation of any offences and enforcement of the law against any person, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration may lawfully direct the IG with respect to any policy matter, such as the policy directive on transfer of police officers who have served in one station for at least 3 years. This comes a day after Kindiki gave the National Police Service 60 days to implement the policy directive that bars police officers from serving in one station for more than 3 years.
The Cabinet Secretary is the sector driver for policy on recruitment, transfer, promotion. No person may give the Inspector General of Police any directives on the transfer, promotion, etc. of any particular officer, on investigations of any particular person. So there is the use of the singular there. In other words, the Cabinet Secretary cannot direct the Inspector General transfer this officer, promote officer Y, cannot give directives. But just yesterday, we have given directives that all officers who have served for 3 years across the country must move. That is a policy decision. It is not aimed at directing the IG to transfer a particular officer. It's a policy. 3 years, you must move. And there are policy reasons why that policy guideline has been given across the board. So it's about the time served. It's not about Officer X, Officer Y.
Now, a section of health stakeholders in the country have called on the government to boost and support local production of drugs and vaccines to reduce the dependency on donor funding, which currently stands at 75%. Speaking during a national dialogue forum in Nairobi, representatives from the Kenya Legal and Ethical Issues Network on HIV and AIDS highlighted the need for the government to address the challenges affecting local production of drugs and vaccines by coming up with better policies and laws on local production. KEMSA has also been urged to provide a fair play field for local production of ARVs by awarding tenders to local manufacturers.
This dialogue is important for us because it's bringing together communities that are affected and use the medicines. It's bringing together the manufacturers. It's bringing together pharmacies or pharmacists. It's bringing together government officials. And we're looking to have a robust discussion to understand how do we get more local production of medicine? How do we ensure the supply chain is strengthened? How do we ensure laws and policies are amended or created that will create an avenue that ensures that medicine access is good, is of good quality, and is affordable to all those who need it, for us to eventually realize the right to health, which is a right for every citizen in Kenya.
The gap is big because Kenya, in regard to ARVs, is a net importer of finished products. Not because we are not able to produce, but because of the style of procurement that does not favor the local manufacturing industry. For a long time, we have more than 35 licensed local manufacturers for various medicines, excluding vaccine production, which hopefully should start very soon. But even if it starts and there's no change of approach, we shall have the industry and shall not supply Kenyans from Kenya. The same way ARVs that are being produced here, but they cannot be procured from here because we are net importers.
Elsewhere, as coffee farmers from Embu County grapple with unprecedented market crisis after the government withdrew trading licenses for a number of marketers, Embu County government has reached out to the Asian market to avert any further losses. This is after Chinese buyers kept coffee berries at Embu County and identified 2 best qualities of coffee that are more suitable for the Asian market. Applauding the move, Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire stated that her government will offer agronomy support to farmers to enable them produce high quantities of quality coffee to meet the Asian demand.
Top of the agenda, number 1, is to see how we market the coffee that is presently within the county. There's a lot of coffee that we need to market, and also see how we can improve on our mill. And I'm glad that the potential buyers, first of all, are very impressed by the type of milling machine that we have. They say it's good quality, but they have advised that we need the color sorter, which will help enhance the quality even more, so that we can even get better prices for the quality.
We are really happy. We have a good chance, and we see the best coffee in Kenya. We did some cupping here with our professional team from China. After this trip, we can say China is waiting for Embu coffee. The quantity we are looking for in Chinese market, we can say we are planning for 3 phases now. Phase 1, we are looking for start from 2 containers